Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing?
Doing well. Wrapped up day one of joint practices here, so get to see the Dolphins go against another team for the first time. So was pretty fired up about that, and got another one tomorrow. And then this year's pretty cool, where they'll get one against Washington and one against the Buccaneers. So three different opponents that you get to see the Dolphins go against.
Yeah, and let me tell you, I'd like to know, were they actually stoned today? Because they were kind of slow on the offensive line. Because that was not good today. That was a really bad performance by. They did all right in the one-on-ones because I went over there and I walked over there and I watched it. Patrick Paul had one good rep, but the other ones were bad for him, unfortunately. Although he did pancake a guy in the 11 on 11s. But overall, man, I gotta say, Atlanta, whenever they blitzed, they had their way with Miami, and it was some trouble for the quarterback.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I feel like you still saw a lot of pretty clean pockets for the quarterback. So I know Lorenzo Carter got in there a couple times. I know one where Tua had to kind of evade one rusher and then held onto it a little bit. And at that point, he was just tucking the ball, not even looking downfield anymore. And Carter got to him on one of those times. But still, I mean, I thought you still saw a lot of the offense executing well as far as just the timing in the offense. River Craycraft was tremendous this practice. He had so many downfield catches. And was a different quarterback.
He's just a football player.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what he is. There's athletes out there, and then there's football players. And River Craycraft is a football player, man. That's what I like about him. He does it all out there, and he's solid.
Yeah.
You can count on the guy.
He was definitely my stock up player today because you saw him with different quarterbacks running different routes of intermediate depth and the 20, 25 yard, down the field range.
Right.
Whether left sideline, right sideline, over the middle, from different alignments. So, I mean, very versatile practice that we saw in the first setting against an opponent. Obviously, the big highlight was Tua to Tyreek deep down the field. I mean, Patrick Paul, he had a couple of good reps in those one-on-ones. He slipped on one of them. But that was after kind of like a couple of seconds of holding up, and then he kind of slipped toward the end of it. But one of them, man, he just sent like Lorenzo Carter. He just kept sending him out and out and out. So even though Carter was running past him, it was kind of like he was away from the point of attack that he would be trying to get to on the quarterback. So still, I mean, solid progression that you're seeing out of him. I mean, some up and down play from the offensive line. Also, a couple snapping issues came back up after it had been a few practices since we had seen them.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. All right, so for you gave what grade to the offensive line in the 11 on 11s?
I could go, I mean, in the B- range. Oh yeah, you're way down on them, huh?
Wow.
I mean, I felt like there were still a lot of instances where it was a clean pocket. I know sometimes watching these practices, the times when it breaks down, which, yeah, I know. When you're watching a game, a couple of sacks, then those are the plays you harp on. But overall, I felt like it was okay for a lot of those pass plays. And run game a little bit inconsistent. We saw them work on some runs to the outside. Some of them got stuffed around the line of scrimmage, but then they broke free on a few. So that's kind of the give and take that you have with this offense.
Okay. Did anybody stand out for you on the offensive line? They did have a couple of low snaps today.
Yeah, that was that. Mm-hmm. Robert Jones had a good one-on-one period, as well as I liked what I saw from Patrick Paul in those that I mentioned. In the 11 on 11, yeah, I mean, stuff to single out someone, but this is a group now like without Teron Armstead, so I think that'll be a boost once you do have him around, and so guys they need to progress, they need to step up, but overall, I'm not too down on the O-line after watching it. Overall, I mean, I think the Dolphins won the day, really on both sides. I would give them a win, both offensively and defensively, from what I saw.
Okay. All right. What else stood out to you on the wide receiver side outside of Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, Willie Snead had a couple of drops, so he was actually my stock down player today. He did have a couple of drops. One of them from Tua Tagovailoa, which I think was the first time we see Tua throw to Willie Snead, the guy who called him
No,
soft.
no, no, he caught an inside one on the left side of the field a couple days when his first day. He caught a touchdown from
Oh,
two. He
now
did
was that in a one-on-one or
one on ones. Yes, they were one on
in one-on-ones? Yeah, right. So Willie Snead, yeah, he did mention that one when he spoke to us after that practice. All right, got it. But as far as in the full 11
No,
on 11, at least I haven't seen one previously. So that was kind of like the first one. All right, no hard feelings between the two.
yeah, but this is a guy that's battling for a practice squad spot, not even
Basically,
a roster spot.
yeah.
What they did with him was they hired a coach. That's
Yeah.
what they did. They got a guy that can help, Malik and all these other guys run the slot, and they can learn because he knows the system inside and out. So basically, he's kind of, and he is in good shape. I will say that, but he's really there to be almost like a coach more than anything else.
Yeah, and he comes from he was just in San Francisco, so he comes from running a similar system. So yeah, veteran wide receiver. You see these added in training camp. Like I think just last year it was a Kiki Kuti that they added. Remember? Yeah, it's like kind of it was a year ago, but I mean such a short period of time. Then you have the whole season play out and you forget. But yeah, he was there, and I can't remember who else, but there was someone. I remember a veteran receiver either 2 training camps or 3 ago
those are different examples than this one. This is a specific example that they've got a bunch of young guys that need to learn how to play the slot. So let's go get a guy that we know that has played in the system and knows it, and he can run all those routes, and the young guys can see him and all that kind of stuff and learn how to play the game. And so that's kind of what they brought him in to teach the young guys how to be a pro in this system. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what he's here for. Whereas Kiki Kuti was brought here to be an extra speed guy, return guy, that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? This guy, I think, is brought in for other reasons because he's got no shot at contributing as a receiver. You've got receivers way better than him at this point and younger. So it's not like he's going to earn any kind of playing time, but he can be a very valuable piece on your practice squad, actually.
Yeah,
really.
You kind of have those roster spots secured with maybe like some competition for that, like a one extra one. But I mean, it's great to your point for Malik Washington to get to work with exactly this guy right here in Willie Snead, a veteran that is familiar with this offense, can work the slot. And hey, even Washington today, nice catch from on a ball from Mike White, was thread in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was
traffic.
That might have been Mike White's second best throw of camp already. That was a nice throw, Mike White.
Right. Yeah, kind of zipped it in there with a converging defender coming in and got it there. And then good hands from Malik Washington, concentration, and to secure the ball with the defender incoming, even though it wasn't like, maybe in the game he'd get lit up by that guy, but still, kind of like grabbed hold of it. He had it in a secure spot where you felt comfortable that even if he was taking a hit, he would hold on to that ball.
Dude, did you see Chop Robinson line up over the center and blow up a running play?
Okay, yeah, some different alignment too. Now, so the way we split it, because there's so much going on, I had my eyes on the offense.
I asked. That's why, because I know the person can't see everything. Dude.
Right. Yeah, in these joint settings, but Perk, my colleague, had his eyes on the defense, so I was relaying notes he was relaying notes and highlights to me on what he saw for our practice report, and so that's interesting. Yeah, because I think we've seen him come up the middle sometimes. Versatile aspect to his game, and I think Weaver's going to get creative with the different things that he can do with so many different guys.
No, I know, but that's nice to see that you can, they already have that kind of confidence that they're going to move Chop around like that. That's pretty interesting. And here's where you've got, okay, so you're third and long, okay, and I talked about this in the offseason, that you can now, instead of lining up normal defensive tackles inside, you can then line up several pass rushers. And since Chop can play inside, Phillips can play inside at times, by the way, you can have Chubb and Kamara on the outsides. You understand? You can mix shit up like that. Or Calais Campbell can be one of the guys inside or outside. So there's a lot of moving parts to it all. So if you really need to get a pass rush, then you put extra pass rushers at that position and guys that can play inside, like Phillips and Chop, apparently, that have some inside skills, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Chubb is not the guy you play inside, but these kind of cats are. It's kind of like the opposite of what you have to go get Willie Snead, because Odell Beckham is not a slot receiver and he's never been in this system. So he can't go teaching the young guys a position he doesn't play and a system he's never been in. Whereas this, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of the opposite in the way you're using this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and what you're saying about these edge rushers and the multiplicity of how they could use them all, that's pretty exciting when you factor in that, all right, they're going to have to play an elevated role early on, and they already are in training camp with Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb on PUP, and maybe Chubb takes longer than Phillips at this point. But that they're already going to get those reps, that experience, and then once you have all of them come together, then the different things that you could do, it's got to be really exciting for Dolphins fans to really just let your mind run free on what can be done with all these different guys, the packages that Anthony Weaver can throw out there when he has them all healthy.
Linebackers, what'd you see from any of them?
David Long in there, he's getting more and more reps. Duke Riley was the orange jersey player of the day, so he's been playing an elevated role because we haven't seen Jordan Brooks or Anthony Walker for several practices now as they deal with injury. Jordan Poyer at safety, similar thing. So these are all things that Mike McDaniel told us yesterday he's not too concerned about. But so we've seen guys have to step up, Duke Riley being one of them. So a big reason why he earned the orange jersey. And, we've seen him have to get thrown into that sort of that realm of play of Jerome Baker going down last year. And, he would leave a lot to be desired at times, especially in coverage and whatnot, but still someone who knows how to communicate and relay calls on a defense. So I think that's mainly what you need to see. And then, of course, obviously you want to see the play come together. But I think the defense overall, especially early on, they held up against the Falcons. The Falcons seemed a little shaky offensively to start, struggled with their offense, and then they settled in a bit, and the defense, I think, got worn down as they went, but still had an overall really strong day for the defense, especially when you consider that start and how dominant they really were at the start of 11s.
Tua, what grade you give him overall today?
Yeah, Tua, he hit several different throws, had the long throw to Tyreek, did throw an interception that wasn't too great, thrown behind Craycraft, and Mike Hughes, of the same corner who got roasted earlier, got him for that one. So, for Tua,
he went after. I don't know if you noticed it, but after the session was done, Tua went and sought Mike Hughes and was like, "Hey, nice job by you." He was congratulating him on the interception. So that's cool. It's and it's smart, by the way, also.
Yeah. So. For Tua, it was like an average day. He did have an interception. So for his standards, might be a C+.
He had some trouble with some of the pressures because they were blocking. It's like they disrupted the call right away. They disrupted the play right away.
Yeah. But the system has to have that built into it. It's get the ball out quick type of deal that Tua will have to operate because, he's used to that from, really since he started. But even last year, and keeping him clean, that was a big part of it. It's something the Dolphins will have to continue to work on. So struggled at times. But this is when you want to try some different things. And, hey, even if you see how long you can get that pass protection to hold up so you have that gauge for the games. And then come week one, like you saw against the Chargers last year, week one, kept Tua clean, even against the Chargers pass rush that was touted going in. With the tackle trouble that the Dolphins were having, you kept them clean, and it was a byproduct of the system, getting the ball out quick. And you kind of know from your whole training camp and preseason what you have to work with when it comes to that. So you come into the start of the season prepared by testing it out in these practices, seeing how long you can get it to hold up, and then finally come game time, you adjust with your play calls accordingly.
All right, it doesn't take much to say this or do it. because he's been unfortunately really bad. But I can't say that this this training camp, Channing Tindall has had his best training camp so far of his young career. Again, that's not really hard to do considering the first two have not been at all anything. But did you see anything from him today? Did you see anything from Quentin Bell today? Some of these other guys.
Well, Quentin Bell had a quieter practice than other days, but I think was it him? He still had a pass bat down, if I'm not mistaken, coming through on a rush, if I saw it correctly. Channing Tindall, didn't see too much of him today, and I've seen some flashes throughout camp. Nothing that makes me say, I guess you're seeing best camp he's had, which again isn't saying much, but some minor flashes here and there.
Plays, so let's give him credit when he does make some plays.
Sure, absolutely.
Because he's been much maligned and well deserved, but it's like what I was talking about the other day is he's had his best camp so far. Doesn't mean he's going to make this team. He probably isn't, but he might actually get a shot somewhere else now. You know what I mean? That he can put something on film that's positive. These games are going to be so important for a guy like Tindall, man, because he's going to get some playing time.
Well, think about it. The Dolphins essentially added another linebacker, a veteran linebacker ahead of him, because you have Jerome Baker go out and you have two guys come in Jordan Brooks and Anthony Walker, with David Long returning, and Duke Riley was kept. So there was talk about whether they'd cut him for some salary cap relief. So Duke Riley was kept, and the orange jersey player today. So that's already four guys right there at inside linebacker that Channing Tindall is inevitably behind, and will not be able to just surpass magically in one camp, even as he improves. So. But his improvement could be a byproduct of working with Joe Barry, an experienced defensive coach who's been a defensive coordinator and now back down at the linebacker coach rank. So it'd be good to get his thoughts when next time we get to see him. It was such a hectic day when we had the defensive coaches last. That I think I was at either Anthony Weaver or Ryan Crow, the new outside linebackers coach, maybe Austin Clark. When we had the defensive coaches, I didn't get to talk to Joe Barry, but could be good to get his thoughts on Tindall next time we see them.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Let's talk about another much maligned player, Liam Eichenberg. What'd you think so far of what he's done in camp and then today?
Yeah, I feel Liam is progressing. You see less and less of the slip-ups and not in as great of frequency. I know even last training camp he was still struggling. Here and there you'll still see some struggles, but I think right now I would put him up there to win the right guard spot right now. I like what I'm seeing. I think the versatility he has added is benefiting him, and that'll also help when it comes to needing a backup center who also could start at right guard, something like that. And so right now, Liam and Robert Jones, as the Dolphins released in their first depth chart, seem to be leading the way at right and left guard, respectively. And Isaiah Wynn is yet to get immersed into this competition because he remains on PUP. So far, I know a lot of fans see Liam Eichenberg's name and they don't love to see him as the number one guard, but
they hate him. They can't stand that, bro. Seriously. Nobody likes Liam Eichenberg, No. I'm going to trust these guys. I think he's going to end up being and have a solid year for them. We'll see. He does end up on the floor a lot, as one media member told me today. It's true, and he was on the floor today on one of the plays. But he has improved, so we'll see. We'll see, because that one's kind of interesting.
It's a matter of the consistency for him.
All right, give me one name we haven't mentioned that we should have mentioned.
One name we haven't mentioned that we should have in today's practice, or
in today's practice.
In today's practice, let me see. We talked about so much. I'm actually going to pull up my my practice report and see if I find something that I like. There was so much going on today. You know what? All right.
He had a great day today. But I really like how Kader Kohu is developing this year.
Okay.
I think he's going to excel in this system, actually. He looks much more comfortable in this system than he did last year with old man Fangio.
You know who? The undrafted rookie corner, Jason Maitre.
Maitre makes a play every day. I was already telling somebody today, he already made the practice squad, Jason Maitre.
Right.
He made the practice squad. Guarantee you he made the practice squad. That kid makes a play in every practice.
Yeah, he breaks up a pass every practice. Actually, similar. I mean, Cam Smith was getting a lot of solid reviews last training camp, and it was because a similar thing, like you saw him make a play. Like a ball was sent his way, closing speed to get there and break up a pass. I mean, just the other day, was it last practice? He was covering Tyreek Hill, and Tua was throwing. So he stopped a Tyreek Hill, Tua to Tyreek Hill bomb with good coverage, got his left hand up there, timed it perfectly. He was on it. And then in one-on-ones today against the Falcons, had a couple pass breakups. So I think that'd be one name I'd say. Lower on the undrafted rookie out of Wisconsin.
I like that. It's a great one because immediately when you mentioned it, I said I was talking about him today. Yeah. And Jason's already made the practice squad. I can already tell you that he's definitely one of those guys you want in the practice squad. He won't make the regular roster, but there's a need there. Although if you keep putting this on film, he won't last on the practice squad.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
He plays in the preseason, somebody will scoop his ass up.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
He'll be one to watch in the preseason games because he'll get a lot of reps in those games as you have times when starters sit and whatnot, or if they do play, it's just a series or two. And he's one guy to keep an eye on at corner, number 43, Jason Maitre.
Yep, he makes a play all the time. All right, what do you got going on in the Sentinel so folks can check you out?
Yeah, I was just writing today's practice report, all the observations from the joint session against the Atlanta Falcons. And I wrote about now is Javon Holland next as Tyreek Hill got his contract. It's looking like maybe not so for him, especially when you listen to him and he's just focusing on the season. And Mike McDaniel yesterday, his comments on Javon Holland. So read up on that situation, especially with the Dolphins so tied up salary cap wise now committed in future seasons. So.
By the way, just in case, because this guy Finn Rule on the chat board, my man, you're not really following it. You go after the Hill contract adjustment. The Dolphins have $35.8 million of cap space. They're over the cap next year, like 40-something million. They're going to have to roll over this to next year, my brother.
Exactly.
Okay, so it's not like they can go, and they still have to sign Javon Holland. It's not as easy as you think, bro. This isn't the money printer of the Feds. Okay. That's our dollar that they devalue by printing all the time. You can't do that. There's only a certain amount of dollars, a certain cap space, and Miami is way over it next year, and that's why they need this money to roll over for next year. Correct, David?
Yeah, exactly. And Javon Holland is at the head of that list, and then even Jalen Phillips too. Now you do have him on the 5th-year option as well after this year, but he was a member of the same draft class.
If he tears ass this year, he has no shot at getting a contract. He will play on the 5th-year option.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
coming off the Achilles, right? So that's why you hold on there.
Yeah.
So that's why Javon Holland is sort of the name that's in flux here in that balance in between. That's the big one to wonder about. So wrote about him today, and then and we'll have more tomorrow.
You got it, and we'll catch up with you on Friday. I will see you tomorrow at 10:10, my man. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, as always, thank you, my brother. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You got it. Don't forget, Welt Rheaume. I'm telling you, folks, we are a major disadvantage with the new laws, and the consumer is at a disadvantage. The insurance company has all the advantages. The only way we get that advantage back is by having the right lawyers. If you don't have the right lawyers, you're going to pay the price. Call Jeff Welt or Daniel Rheaume. They are ass kickers. 954-966-4646. If you suffered some condo damage, business owner claims, homeowner property damage, even bankruptcy or personal injury, they can help you. 954-966-4646.
This is the Big O Show.